Hi friends and welcome. This is Pack Rat speaking. I want to thank you for your time and for your interest and for tuning in to this video. As you can see, I'm not in the great outdoors today. I'm actually at home in my kitchen and I've got to do a little bit of gear maintenance. If you watched my newest video prior to this one, you saw that I got a chance to get out over the 3-day Labor Day weekend and do some day hiking and get a chance to practice some basics, just basic skills out in the wilderness. It was a lot of fun, was refreshing. As I said in that video, I've not had the opportunity to get out as much as I'd like over the summer. Just been busy with work and just seems like there's something in the way every week. But also with the opportunity of getting out to practice and use my gear, I also have the necessity of getting back into the kitchen like I'm showing right now and doing some gear maintenance. So I wanted to take just a minute to share a couple of things that I'm going to be doing here with you, just to give you some ideas. I've had several people ask me, how do I keep my canteen cup in tip-top shape? As you know, if you've seen any of my videos, you know I often cook with it right directly on the fire, which turns a perfectly nice clean stainless steel cup black, as you can see here, and gets soot and all kinds of stuff all over your canteen cup. So I'm going to take just a minute to show you how I cleaned that up. I've had several people ask me about that recently. Some people I think maybe are a little squeamish to put their cup in the fire like that. So this will show you how to fix it up with no problems. Very simple. I do want to give a quick shout out to a gentleman, David Wendell, who a lot of people are probably familiar with here on YouTube. He's from Bushcraft on Fire, a channel here, and I think his channel is excellent. I really enjoy his videos. Not long ago he put out a video very similar to this one, and I made a comment on it, how much I enjoyed that, because I think that kit maintenance is very, very essential for everyone who uses their gear. Because if you think about it, your gear can make the difference between life and death in a real survival situation. So I think it's important then to inspect that gear every time you use it, make sure you maintain it, and make sure it's in tip-top shape. And that's how I want my kit to be at all times, whether at home just waiting for the opportunity to use it, or at home being prepared in case the worst case scenario should come up and I need it. So anyway, wanted to just show you a couple of simple things that I'm doing to make sure my kit's in that condition, tip-top shape. Stick with me and we'll take a look one by one. Okay, now to clean the canteen cup. It's really not hard at all. With a stainless steel cup, it just cleans up easily. What I like to use is a little steel wool soap pad. I think a brand name is SOS. My wife bought just some generics. It works just fine. I think it came from Target or somewhere. And these are actually supposed to be antibacterial. I don't know if it really matters. But basically all I'm going to do to get started on this is just wet it a little bit. And now it just involves a little elbow grease. Basically I need to just sit here and take the time to softly go over the cup. I know this won't make for the most exciting watching here. You can always fast forward. I'll try not to show you the whole process. But I mean, already, and as you saw, this was right in the flames on that last video. Sorry, I realize I'm out of focus a little bit. As I said, this one's going to be informal. Now look at that already, just from hitting it with that. Look at the pad. It's pretty gross. But that's all you got to do is just go over it with the soap pad. Just pay attention to every part, every little area. You're definitely not going to hurt the cup by scoring a little bit with this. You know, I've done a lot of camp cooking with different types of stoves, everything from the bigger propane stoves to the pocket rocket alcohol stoves. I like all that stuff. It works great. I have some of all of it. But I think my favorite way of cooking, the way I seem to enjoy most, is just by putting my cup right in the fire, my cooking vessel right in the fire. That really is I don't know, something about it. Some people may not like that. It's a lot of trouble to have to clean up after it, but it's just fun. It seems to me like the less kit that I start to depend on, the more I narrow my stuff down, and the stuff that I have to carry, the more I seem to enjoy it. I don't depend on so much stuff. There's a lot of people out there that can go out and make do with a lot less than I do. But it seems like the more I narrow things down, the simpler I make things, the better it gets. Just to show you what my hands look like, that's what's coming off that cup. Never thought I'd make a video for my channel with me washing dishes. Okay, what I'm going to do is get a little sponge out. If I can finish whatever it is, I'll bring it right back. What I got here is just a plain cheap sponge. Okay, and what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of dish detergent in the cup and just wash it as usual. The inside, I really didn't cook anything, just boiled water with it on that video. That's it. A little stubborn area right there. You gotta pay attention to that rim. If you're picky like I am and you want it to be as best it can be, you gotta really pay attention to that rim sometimes. And these hinges also. And of course, this isn't 100% necessary. Once you go over a little bit, it don't have to be perfect. Unless you're like me and you just want to keep everything perfect as much as you can. I am pretty picky, as you notice about my gear. Sometimes overly so, I think. Little spot there. I'm thinking I may put this in fast motion, because it won't be the most exciting thing to watch. Okay, what I'm going to do, you can see now, It's already got that shiny new finish. I'm going to just dry it off and then I'll show you the finished result. Okay, all finished. What'd I take? Maybe 2-3 minutes to get that thing back to shiny. So now it's ready to go back in the canteen cover, and my canteen is actually in the dishwasher. Once that comes out, we'll put the set back together, put it back with my pack, and it'll be ready when I'm ready for it. Speaking of the cover, I do take the time to go over it, make sure the buckles are good, make sure everything looks nice. If there's any dirt or mud or anything like that on my canteen cover, I'll go ahead and wipe that off, make sure there's no dirt or anything collected down inside the pouch here. There was a little bit of dirt. Just empty that out. That's it. Just inspect it, make sure it's all right. One of the other things, I a lot of times carry water purification tablets in this pocket. I don't have any in there right now because it wasn't part of my video the other day. It wasn't something I was carrying with me. But if I carry that type of thing, if I've used it, then I try to replenish it, replace it, or whatever. Anytime I use resources out of my kit, I want to make sure that I have a full capacity after maintenance session like this. One of the other pieces of my kit that I used to dig that fire hole with, that I boiled the water over, was my Fisker's trowel. Make sure it's not cracked, make sure everything's okay with it. It looks just fine. And I'm just going to rinse it off too, because I'm going to stick it back in my pack with my food and other things in there. You just want to make sure that it's nice and clean. Get the dirt off. Notice my wife's not around, because if she saw me washing a nasty trowel in the sink, she'd probably freak. That's okay. I always heard God made dirt, so dirt don't hurt. I don't know how true it is, but anyway, little things like this, just go over it. Make sure it's in good condition. Alright. Like new. Okay, one of the other things that I really used a lot was my gloves. And when I was digging in my fire pit, I actually had my gloves on and was collecting the dirt up. So these gloves got very, very dirty. I have washed these in a washer before. However, I think the best result is to wash them by hand. So I'm going to show you the best way to wash your gloves. Put them on. And you're going to wash it just like you'd wash your hands. Pretty much. Pretty dirty, but very comfortable. Excellent working gloves. So I just put some soap here. I'm just going to wash my hands. I pay attention to all the areas. Squeeze the soap out. Probably looks funny. You know, that last video where I was talking about taking advantage of having a faucet and using water. I almost feel wasteful now sitting here washing gloves with my water. I guess that's just part of life. That's it. Now all I got to do is hang these gloves up and let them dry, and they'll be as good as new. And I can put them back in my kit so they'll be ready for next time. Now, the next item that I used quite a bit for cutting roots was my Gerber backpacks. Okay, and the sheath looks to be plenty good. I don't even think I really need to clean that. If I did, if it was dirty, like I said, I would go over it, just wet cloth, touch over it. But we can see my my backpacks is kind of dirty. It got dirt all on it, so forth. So before I even inspect the blade, what we're going to do is put it here in the sink as well and touch up. Just touch it up. This backpack is an excellent tool. I have a Wetterling's axe, which is highly regarded as an excellent axe. Does a great job, but I'm very partial to this backpack. I've used it a lot. I put it through a lot of torture testing, and it's held up flawlessly. It's lightweight. It feels good in my hand. Some people might not like a smaller axe. It's all personal preference. I've been using an axe since I was a kid. I feel like I've got more skill with an axe really than probably a large knife. So I've really focused on using that a lot. I carve with my axe. I've done a lot of stuff with it, and this one really is probably my favorite. I like it so good that I got a second one. Like I said, I put it in my wife's pack. It was lightweight enough even for her to handle. Alright, so I've got it nice and cleaned up. I want to inspect the blade, make sure there's no burrs. It looks pretty good. It's a little bit dull, and and that's partially my own fault, because when I was cutting those roots, I hit the dirt a little bit with it. So it's a little bit duller than I like for it to be. So we're going to need to touch up the blade. Okay, to touch up my axe, I went and got my little blade maintenance kit here. It's got some oil, a little oil rag, a couple of different sharpeners in it. Notice it'll cause a little controversy because this is probably not the ideal sharpener to some people. It's just a little carbide rod sharpener. Works good, and I'm no expert at sharpening knives or axes. And things like this tend to make the best quick touch up for me. I can do a decent job, but I like it to be sharp. Let me show you how easy this tool is to touch up this axe with. Alright, so now that I've got that nice and sharpened, what I want to do is oil the blade up just a little bit. What I got is a little soft cloth here and just some rim oil. Put a little on the blade and then just give it a good coating. That way that oil will sit on it when I put it in the sheath and will preserve the blade. You want to make sure when you oil the blade you always go away from the blade. Made that mistake a time or two. Sometimes the school of hard knocks is the best way to learn. So my axe is nice and oiled and sharpened and ready to go back in the sheath and back in my pack. And will be ready next time I need it. Now I have 2 more tools that I used on my day hike yesterday, and that is my RC4, was technically my SE4, and also I was carrying my neck knife, which is the Azula, which is also by SE, formerly Rat Cutlery. I didn't use this knife very much, just a couple of times. This is actually a new knife. I haven't really broken in good. It still looks nice and pretty. I'm going to try to take care of it as best I can. But being 1095 steel, I think it's important to make sure I put some oil on it for storage while it's sitting in its nice Kydex sheath. Boy, what a nice knife. I love this knife. A lot of people have asked me what my favorite blades are. I think Essie, or formerly Rat Cutlery, makes some of the best knives. Missed a spot. And for the money, I think this knife runs about 90 bucks, depending on where you buy it. What an awesome knife. I just can't rave about this enough. I love this knife. I love the feel of it. I love the shape of it. I love the sheath. It's just awesome. I feel a review coming on. There's just so many reviews on it already. I hate to be redundant. And then this is my little Azula. I haven't had this very long either. I ordered both those knives together. And I've already checked the blades. They're sharp as can be. No need to touch over the blade. Hasn't been used enough to get dull yet. As I said, 1095 steel, so it can rust. I just want to touch over it with some oil while it's sitting in its sheath until next time I should use it. Always pay attention to your blades. If they need sharpening, sharpen, oiled. Make sure they're taken care of because it probably is your primary piece in your kit. That's it. I've cleaned everything. Well guys, there you have it. 10 to 15 minutes well spent going over my kit and making sure that everything's in tip-top shape and ready to use at a moment's notice should I have the opportunity arise or should the necessity arise to do so. I noticed on my channel this past week that I crossed a new threshold, and that's that I reached the number of 5,000 subscribers. And this just amazes me. When we first put my channel up and I crossed, I had like 5 subscribers. That amazed me. And then it went to 50, and that was it just blew my mind. And then 500, I thought I was on top of the world. And now here I am at 5,000. And I just want to thank you guys. I'm humbled, and I just so much appreciate your support and interest and the sharing that goes on here on YouTube. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you for taking an interest. And I look forward to doing this indefinitely. I've got a lot of ideas, a lot of things I'd like to show, and it's just a matter of time to get it done. But I look forward to continuing this project here on YouTube. I really enjoy having the opportunity to share and get feedback from like-minded people. It's just a privilege for me to do this. So thank you again from the bottom of my heart. Now that I've got my kit ready to go back in the pack, I've got to do kitchen duty. I got to clean up the kitchen and get it in tip-top shape. So I appreciate you guys again, your support so much, and I look forward to talking to you again. Until next time, take care and God bless.